Hello and welcome everyone to our first My Self-Reliance community chat for 2024. It's so good to be with you. I'm Kelly Wilkins from My Self-Reliance, and tonight we are all about creating our vision and our vision board. So if you remember back to the end of 2023, we closed off the year by doing a nice little wrap up, looking back over 23 and acknowledge what you've created, and then to set your mind up for what you wanted to create in 2024. If you were with me and Roxy in that session, we really kind of forecasted and gazed on what life could be like by the end of 2024. So tonight we want to take that conversation and go one step further and really talk about how do you now start to build on that conversation, that vision for what you want to have happen this year, and what does it look like to create a vision board. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I know there's a few people in the room tonight who have created vision boards before, and so I'm going to get them to share a bit later. But this is so much fun. First of all, we're going to talk about how you create one. We're just going to get that straight off the bat. And then we're going to go into 6 top reasons for why you want to create a vision board. And then I'll show you some of mine and the family have created, and we'll take some sharing from this. Right off the bat, how you create a vision board for those who have never done it before. This is the old school method. It's better than the old school method because it's really tactile. It's about gathering our craft materials and our glue and magazines and scissors and doing a whole bunch of cutting out. You want a board that you can put pictures on. Then you also want any things that pretty it up as well. You can do it on a canvas, you can do it on cardboard, you could do it on a cork board, anything that you have that you can stick your pictures to. You can go through old photos for pictures of yourself and your family, although this is a vision board, so we're kind of forecasting rather than looking back. But you might have some photos that you can repurpose. You can go through magazines to find lots of great images. And you can certainly do a Google search and find just the image that works for you and print off. You can use words. I love to use different words and different text type, different colors, quotes as well. Anything that stands out to you that helps you to really grasp onto what it is that is on your heart and in your mind. Once you have all those things and you've chosen a nice big pile of photos, some you'll end up not using, and that's quite okay, because when it comes to doing the creativity side of it, you'll find certain pictures fit better than others, and so you might decide which one of these houses do I want to use. Well, I want to use this one, not because it's my favorite, but actually it fits in that square a whole lot better. So you start arranging them on the board, and when you have decided how you look, then you want to go ahead and pasting down those images. You can overlap. I like my vision boards to look a little bit messy because I like there to be no spare spaces, and I like to look at it and see things that a little bit hidden. Different images that are some small and some are large, some take up a lot of space, and some just grab you, and if you're quite there's no wrong way of doing it. So if you're quite creative, then you might, your eye might look like it, start in the center and then it might go around. But from an artistic point of view, if ever I have a photo, my dad always taught me the golden rule that you want the eyes to look inward. So if you have a photo and the face is pointing in a certain direction, make sure the face is pointing towards the middle. You don't want to have the eyes looking out on the edge and then out to the poster going that way, because it just sends your eye off the page instead of back in and around the page. And same thing if you had like beach or a house and it was facing a certain direction, I would just make sure that the curve came back in around to the center. Okay. Then when you have pasted it all down, you might put some doodads in there, some sparkles. I had some lovely stickers in like pearls and things that just make it pop a little bit. And that's really lots of fun. The next thing is reflect. Why did you choose those images that you did? A fun thing to do is to journal about the process and journal your vision, so that you're really writing the story of your year in your journal, and the things that you're doing and the places you're going and the people you're seeing. And when you journal that, journal it in the first person and also in the present tense. I'm enjoying looking out over the beach with the beautiful on the horizon, the sun's coming up, and I feel grounded in my body. I feel love and peace for my family. So you're really describing these as it happens if you're journaling it. And then last but not least, hang the vision board somewhere where you'll see it every day. So I like to put it on my wall next to where I get up out of bed in the morning. And then it's like the first thing I look at in the morning and the last thing that I see before I go to bed. You might decide it's somewhere in the kitchen, near the fridge, or in the bathroom, in the mirror. There's no right or wrong. It might be just behind your computer in your office, somewhere that you can gaze over it and really enjoy it. 6 reasons to have a vision board. Okay, starting with number 6. You ready? 6, it clarifies your goal. You get to choose aspects of your life, and hopefully you want to pick something from each area of life. You might be health, you might be finances, you might be relationships, you might be your career, it might be your personal development, relaxation. You want to cover those aspects in your vision board. I actually created, not this time, but last time I created a vision board, I actually did 2 sides of the vision board. One side was all about my career and money and those things that I was focused on, and the other side was all about family. So it was really nice just to hang it on, rather than hang it on blue tack, I hung it on a string, and then I kind of flipped it over depending on if I'm at work. Right, that's in front of me. Now I'm at home, and that's, well, I work from home, but you can flip it over as much as you like. But it does really clarify you on what's important to you. Number 5, it provides focus. Having a constant reminder of what you're working towards, it keeps you heading towards that direction. So you've got long-term goals. So even though it's maybe a 2024 vision board, some of my goals on my vision board, I can already see are there for the long haul. They're there maybe for 25 and 26 as well, because it's not something that I'm necessarily thinking that's going to come to fruition this year, but it's there because that's what I'm heading towards and keeping my focus. So it prevents distractions and procrastination. So, you can really, when you've got something in focus, then you know what you're working towards, and rather than getting lost in the math. So next one is number 4, increases your motivation. It reminds you of the reasons behind your actions, boosts your determination and perseverance, especially during challenging times. So, you've put on this vision board, you want to have, the body of your dreams. There it is there. I've put my body on there, and I've cut out a picture of my face from an old photo, and I've stuck that on my magazine body, and there's my goal. That's what I'm going for. And And then they're going to be challenging times. But when I have that in front of me, it keeps me wanting to remember, yeah, I'm not eating that junk today. And there's the reason for it. Because I've got my eyes set on that. Number 3, boosts positivity. So when you have images that are full of positive emotions, we're not going to put on anything there that we don't want. So these are all going to be really beautiful, positive images, and they're going to make you feel good. It's going to increase your optimism and make you feel joyful. You're going to be able to believe in your ability to achieve those goals. And for those of you who have done my jigsaw, you'll know that we often work in vibrations, in feelings, in energy. And if you want something to come towards you, then the more positive we are in our emotions, the more we attract those things that we want to have happen. And they start to happen like without us needing to work so hard to achieve. We just start to attract good people into our lives, and those good people might introduce us to things that we hadn't considered before, and then all of a sudden those things start to come to manifest. Number 2, it promotes creativity and planning. I love this because the actual act of doing a vision board means that you're using your I'm going to say right brain. You're using that part of your brain that allows you to go outside of the box. Additionally, you are prompted to strategize and plan the steps needed for you to take your vision into reality. Because it's, as much as I like to think there's something happening outside of our control that has our vision board manifest, it also takes action step K. And so that's the next part. And I'm going to talk more about these action steps in a moment to turn our vision into reality. And number 1 reason to do a vision board is because it encourages visualization and manifestation. I used that word earlier. Visualization is a powerful technique to manifest your desires. Before something is created, it first needs to be thought of. Wouldn't you agree? And then when you're able to visualize it, then you're able to work to achieve it. Now, I've just moved into a new home, and my husband is talking to me about how he's going to landscape the back garden. And I stood there for a while, and it's a big clump of clay and grass and mess at the moment. And he walks out and he's going, well, I'm going to put the garden over here and the retaining wall there, and then we're going to have a pathway, and your clothesline will go there and over here. And he described the whole lot because he could visualize how it was going to look. I'm looking at clumps of grass, I'm thinking, well, what do we do with this next? Similarly, he brought home this kind of like bench seat, which is made of beautiful wood and metal frame, and then he said, I'm going to restore this. And so he came with this ironing board cover, and I'm like, well, that's pretty out there, isn't it? And he's like, no, just you wait and see. And so he's in all these stages. He recovered the seat with this ironing board cover, which it's kind of, I said, blue with white swirls. And then he said, he sanded all back the wood, and then he painted it all grey. And I saw it in its grey state, and I went, ugh, that's a horrible colour. He's like, no, you just wait. When I sand that back and I paint the metal, and then it's going to look fabulous. And I'm like, okay, whatever, you can see that. And he did it, and it looks amazing. And I will share a photo of it in the Telegram chat group afterwards, so you can see what I'm talking about. But because he had a vision for what he wanted to create and how it was going to turn out, he said there was a few rough patches. He's like, oh, I don't know. But he knew in his mind's eye what he wanted, and then it all came together. And so when you can see it on a vision board, it's your brain can't tell the difference between what's real and what's made up. So you may put something on your vision board, you think, well, that's not really realistic. But your brain doesn't know the difference. You know, you might put the house of your dream and it might be a mansion, and your brain might say, I don't know how I'm ever going to afford that. But because it's on your vision board, your subconscious goes to work and starts to create ways for you to achieve what you're seeing. So it's really quite powerful. Now, on one of my vision boards a few years ago, and only in fact, it might have been 2019, that I just needed to get much better at using my time. I wanted to create for myself more of a structure with my day, and more of felt like I was just floating a lot, or wasting a lot of time, and I just wanted to have much more productivity to the day. And so on my vision board, what was there was a timetable, and I had some very specific goals there about speeding things up, working much more quickly, accomplishing much more. And if I compare where I was, 3 or 4 years ago, and then to what I accomplished last year, that my efficiency with my time was just through the roof. So I say that so that I can encourage you to really go out there with all kinds of areas. It could be habits that you want to change. Put all those on your vision board. Don't hold back. You can have whatever you want, so long as you can identify what that is. One I'm going to show you is my children's vision board. So on the left is my son's vision board. Very simple, very clear, the areas of life that he's interested in. And on the right is my daughter's vision board. She said, obviously their dogs make them happy. And so they have things on there that really helps them to focus on what they want to achieve. I thought that was really cool. Now, obviously, these vision boards are made electronically, so they're made on Canva. And if you don't want to do a vision board that is 3D and cutting and pasting, you can go and use I really love Canva because they have templates for it. And this is what these guys have done, is they've picked a template. It's free, and they've clicked their photos and just dropped them in. So because we're on PowerPoint tonight, it's much easier for me to show you my vision board. I like it, as I said, to hang it, because once we print these out, they'll be kind of A4 size. But for me, I like a vision board to be much bigger. We could print it to A3, but then for me, it's still like I love the creativity that comes with actually overlapping pictures and sticking the doodads on, and you can still do that with these, of course. So here's my vision board. So it's electronic, this version, but then I've also cut out the pictures and on a poster as well. So I just wanted to show you for ease here. So all the different aspects of life, there's words on there. There's things that from a spiritual aspect to community, goals, travel. And the fun thing is that because at some point last year, I actually got to a point where I felt like I reached a lot of my goals. And in fact, halfway through the year, I'm like, I need bigger goals because I feel like I've peaked. I'm 50 now, I've peaked, and I've I'm happy with life and nothing needs to change. Well, that makes me uncomfortable. I really actually just like to live outside of my comfort zone and always be up to big things, because that's where the real growth is. It's not about the destination. It's all about the journey. So now I'm going to open it up to you and to anyone who'd like to share anything about goals that you have, or vision boards that you've created in the past, or something that has maybe inspired you out of what you've heard tonight. Anything that anyone wants to share about that.
Yes, I thought that was interesting. I have done a vision board before, but it's been just a very little, just put the things up. That was really nothing compared to what you're suggesting, which I've written down, which I think is great. And the last thing I love was the habits. I never realized I could do something about the habits. Of course I could. And so I haven't got a messy place, but I've got every cupboard stacked, and I just want to get rid of it, and so I can put that on my vision board. I'll be happy.
I love that. That's awesome. Maria.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, that was really interesting. I enjoyed reading the 6 reasons to have a vision board, and they all make great sense. I did mine a long time ago, very long time ago, and I can't remember too much about it. So I'm starting afresh. And in regards to working on the computer, I'm familiar with Canva and would like to give that a go. Would you say that it should be printed out and be put, because that would be the only way to see it regularly? Like, could you use it as a computer, like a screensaver or something like that? But it doesn't seem like it would do the same thing unless it was printed. So I'm wondering, did your kids print their ones out?
Yes. Yeah, we have a home printer that's a very good quality one. So I would recommend that. Otherwise, Canva does have a print option. Otherwise, you can put it on a USB and take it down to Officeworks and then print it out the size that you want to. And then that gives you some flexibility as well, because then you could also get it printed to a canvas. It wouldn't have to be just on paper. It could be, you could do it like on a canvas and make it a beautiful artwork. So yeah, but if you're on the computer a lot, then it does allow you to do it as a screensaver. Having said that, yeah, it's not my favorite option. I would definitely have it in your home somewhere and laminate it. Yes, thank you for that suggestion. Yeah, Dorothy.
I actually would recommend, as well, as you said, the collage way, only because you meditate more when you do that, and you use more of your right brain, but you also, when you handwrite, you put much more soul in it. So I'm an occupational therapist, so I've done lots of vision boards with patients when we had mental health. So, what we did often is prior to discharge, we had a group, and they would make their own vision boards, and while they make theirs, you make their own. And I still remember that, although that was nearly 25 years ago. And and then during the COVID time, I had a little group at my house for all the people that lost their jobs, etc. We were all in the same sort of boat, and I made a group there that worked out similar to a vision board, but only so what we did is we made a town on 3D. Well, actually, we just drew it down like a bird's eye view, and in doing that, the vision boards, the vision for the future was created. So in other words, there were about 6 participants, and everyone wanted to live somewhere in that little town, and unspoken wishes for the future and unaccomplished goals were suddenly voiced, and we all decided afterwards we should all do a vision board for ourselves now. Because when you're in a group, when you do it in a group, sometimes what the others reflect actually, reflects back on you, and you think, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I always wanted to do that, So yeah, in a way that helps too if you do it in a group.
That is so true. Vision board parties are the best. That's right. And the only addition that you need to the things that we put on the list earlier was people and food and music, a good vibe. So yes, I would recommend that. Get together with a bunch of people and everyone bring a few crafty items and share them amongst each other. And that's also really fun because someone's going to bring something that you didn't think of. Yeah, lots of fun. Andrew and Emma.
My challenge with it would be to try and get one big enough to put everything on it. I don't want to put too many pictures, so I think I'd end up cluttering it so much that it would lose the focus on it. I think that would be my challenge.
Do you know what? Is that because you think that you would collect a lot of photos, or you have a lot on your heart that you would want to put on?
A lot of things on it, and to get lots of different versions of it, or feel that I miss out something if I don't put something else on it. I guess
Is this what you're thinking might happen, or it happened before?
It happened before. Like when we did, I've done affirmations, and I had the same thing, that I make it so long because I want to include everything in it that I don't miss out something important. And then it ends up to be too long.
The idea of the affirmation is
Short and
for
sweet.
it to be a habit. What is it, 21 days to create a habit?
So you got to read it out.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
it's
to
too
read it
long.
and write it out.
Yeah.
So if it's too long, it's like, oh, what did I put there? Yeah, so but Andrew, we've done affirmations as well. Try to do like a scrapbook as well. But I like the vision board because it's the one base platform where you put everything in there. And I would like mine to be a little bit decluttered. I mean, I have an idea. And Kelly and Andrew and I have an idea about where we want to end 2024 on. So I'd like to start making up a vision board based on those 6 reasons, and have an affirmation to go with that as well, or affirmations. Yeah.
Andrew, to that dilemma that you have, I would say 2 things. One is, it sounds like a little bit of perfectionism maybe going on
Okay. Yeah.
there. And the other is that you can't have too many pictures. Only if the one is covering the other, then now you can't see it, right? So then you have to go, well, what's important to me, and then something has to go, right? And so it's better to have too many than too little.
Oh, that's easy to do.
And at some point there's a finite edge to the poster, so you'll have to see what fits on and toss the rest, or make 2, like do what I did, put it on the back.
Yeah, brought up some good points there, Kelly.
Can I throw something in there?
Yes, please.
I think a good practice is writing down things that make you happy, yeah, and then see what are the common things, yeah. So if you love to be outdoors, or it makes you happy reading certain books, or work in the garden, pet the dog, whatever it may be, start writing down a list. And once you see a common pattern of the things, just dump it all on a piece of paper. Then use those common things to put on the vision board. So if sitting by the ocean makes you happy, well, you don't need 20 pictures of the ocean. You need the one picture that when you see it, you go like, that's it. I think that applies really for all in your life where you have goals and visions for this year. So look at things that make you happy and that important and narrow it down, because sometimes we can put up 5 pictures that really mean the same thing. So what would be the center point to create that into one picture?
Cherie shared, thank you for that, Mibs. That's excellent way to look at it. From oolalife.com, the 7 F's. So these are ways that things that you can put on your vision board about family, friends, fun, fitness, faith, the field that you work in, and finance. So areas of life to look at. Thank you for that, Cherie. Cheryl, did you have a vision board that you wanted to show us?
It's a bit of an old one, so I've taken pictures off because I have achieved them, and I've adjusted things along the way. So this is because, of course, we all want to be financially abundant. I put a tap there because it's showing infinite abundance because it's constantly on.
And the whole page?
Even though I've got the background as money, that's kind of finite. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But on this, a lot of mine were long-term goals, which haven't come to fruition yet, but I know that they are, it is going to happen. Yeah.
I guess you've got a lot of, are they affirmations, the writing?
I first did it with this lady online, and she would say, what would it take for me to find my dream home? You know, what would it take for me to be financially abundant? What would it take for me, to upgrade my house? That's how she worded it, but I actually don't like that anymore. So I've crossed a lot of words out and adjusted it a bit.
Very good. Now you did lead to a really good point, and thank you for that, Cheryl. We'd love seeing those. It's really fun when you see other people's, because it really does give you more creative ideas. But once we have done our vision board, there is a next. It moves you in the direction of what next, and steps to get there, because it's not just going to happen on its own, right? So we do need to think about what the habits that we're going to create that's going to slowly, step by step, bring us closer to those goals. And I really do think that it is by small and simple means that we can bring about big change. If you're struggling with this area of, how do I make these changes? Then I have created a program called the Jigsaw Method. And the Jigsaw stands for 6 things that we do in the first hour of the day that's actually going to help you to move toward having what you want in your life. Putting in place, spending that first hour of the day on yourself so that you can have everything that you want. We are going to, if you're wondering more about that, you can go to the website myselfreliance.com.au. I know there's some people in our call tonight who have done the jigsaw with me and have had really great results. But in 2 weeks' time, I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about taking those steps, those action steps, bringing those goals to fruition. In my announcement and the email that I sent out, did anyone here get the email that I sent out before, like earlier today? Who's getting my email?
Yeah, about the vision board.
Yes.
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay. So an announcement is one of the things that we're going to do differently this year on these Tuesday night chats is we're actually going to do the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday of every month. So we're going to do it'll be at least 2 a month of calls instead of every week. A couple of reasons for that. It's going to be a big year. We've got a lot of things on our plate in terms of what we're producing over here at My Self Reliance, but also because I've taken on homeschooling 3 of my children. And that's quite a big new challenge. So I just need to make sure that I'm giving time to the family for that. So we will come back in 2 weeks' time. This month is all about creating our vision and steps to achieving our goal. And so we're going to deepen those more in our next call. So does anyone else want to share anything before we wrap up tonight? I really appreciate everyone jumping on and sharing, asking questions, being here. This is the place that we love to gather. I hope that the fortnightly calls work out for everyone, and that we can really build our momentum around that. I just want to say thank you to everyone for getting on tonight, and we will see you back in 2 weeks.
Thanks so much, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.